Well, a really nice road victory at New Mexico. And the atmosphere in the building was electric. But we did what you had to do on the road. We got off to a great start and kind of took the crowd out of the game right away. And I've been in that building 21 years. And so when it gets loud, you can't even communicate with your team. So to get off to the start we did was a great way to kind of silence them, keep them out of the game. Whenever they made a mini run and it started to get loud, we answered. So just a great road performance by the Aztecs, obviously keyed by our defense. And then when you shoot the three like we did, we're pretty hard to beat. So real pleased with our performance, with the way the team stuck to it for the entire 40 minutes and getting our 22nd consecutive win of the season.
Coach, you're just shooting the ball 58% from the floor. That's a lofty number for anybody. Was it simply one of those nights where everybody was on?
Yeah, we share the ball like we do, then we get a lot of wide open shots. You know, we move it. Instead of taking a okay shot, we move it one more pass and get a great shot. And Malachi kind of keyed that. You know, he just kind of does whatever's required. If he has to score, then he's capable of stepping up and scoring 20 to 30 points. If it's easy, he sensed KJ was hot. Fagan made 5 first-half threes, and Malachi knew he was hot and just got him the ball. So Malachi just plays the right way, and when he sets that tone and we get Matt and Jordan, KJ, Yanni moving out of the low post, we just pass the ball at a really high level.
Was there ever a moment you look up and you're like, 17-0, and even you're surprised at what's going on?
Yeah, nowhere do you think you're going to go up 17-0. So, like all coaches, I was mad when it was 17-2. So I wanted it to be 19-0, but you know things don't always go the way you want, and so it was as good a start as we've had. And it wasn't just shooting the three to start. I mean, we fast broke. You know, we were fortunate. Like Yanni got an early dunk where they actually missed a layup. He was slow getting back down the floor, and we threw it up to him for like a layup. That rarely happens. Matt Mitchell then got a fast break, spun in traffic, got a layup, and then you add to that a couple three-point shots, and it's the kind of start you want to have. And obviously, we're hard to score on. So we did a good job of turning their missed opportunities into fast break opportunities for ourselves.
Coach, what was it like to see all the starters get double figures?
Yeah, it's just that's a hard team to guard because you don't know who's going to have that night. You know, against Vegas a couple games earlier, Trey Pulliam had 18. He hadn't scored that many all year. And then you look up and you're keying on Jordan and Malachi from three, and KJ hits 5 first-half threes. So it's kind of like game to game, who's the hot hand, who we're going to ride that game. And the thing is, as a coach, I don't have to tell them that. They have a sense of that on the floor. They sense who's hot. They try to find that player and get them another look right away, and it's nothing that I have to call to make that happen. They kind of have that sense amongst themselves, and they play selfless basketball, and that's what can happen when they do that.
Coach, Saturday is the big honoring of Kawhi Leonard, and I understand you're not retiring the number 15. You're retiring the jersey. You're honoring the jersey by hanging it in the rafters. Why is Kawhi worthy of this? And he'll be the first guy to have his jersey up in the rafters.
Yeah, I'd like to say it's for what he did at San Diego State. We all know what he did beyond here. MVP of 2 finals, NBA finals, 2-time NBA champion. But he led us to a 34-3 record, a Sweet 16 appearance, a conference title, Mountain West Conference title, and was arguably the best player on maybe the best Aztec team. So a well-deserved honor. One we're excited for him, for his family, and for ourselves to put his 15 jersey up in the rafters.
Has he had any kind of a lingering effect, in recruiting, anything like that, where you put San Diego State more on that, get you more living rooms?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you recruit a young man, they all feel they want to have a chance to play in the NBA. So you bring them here and you show them the conference titles that we win at the highest level. You show them the quality education they can get here at San Diego State. Second most applied to school in the country. You show them that we've been to the NCAA tournament 7 out of 10 years, and they want to know, can they reach their ultimate dream, playing the NBA? And you point to Kawhi Leonard and say, not only can you get there from here, you can arguably be the best player in the NBA from San Diego State. So he provides us credibility in that regard, that you can come here, work hard, improve your game, and play at the highest level.
Talk about working hard. Just talk about the legacy of Kawhi from a hard work standpoint, what that does when the rest of the team sees that.
Yeah, Kawhi comes back in the summer and he gets into the Jam Center and he works. And if you go in there, you'd have to say he's the hardest worker you've ever seen. And he's the dream. He's got God-given ability and a work ethic to match that ability. That rarely happens, where you're that talented, yet you have a work ethic that goes beyond your talent. And that's what Kawhi has. He has a work ethic goes beyond talent, and the one thing he wants to do beyond anything else is win. So he's the perfect basketball player, in my opinion, and has shown that at the NBA level.
When younger players on your team, on your current team, see that or hear the stories about what he was like, what kind of impact does that have? Because I mean, they all probably thought they worked hard in high school, but this is a whole different level. What impact does it have on that younger player to see that?
Yeah, all you have to do is go in there and watch him, and he's a master of his craft. He goes in there, and whether it's a one-dribble pull-up that he does for an hour and a half or it's a certain skill, he's not in there trying to do everything. You know, he's not in there shooting threes and then shooting runners and then shooting pull-ups. He has one skill he works at, and he works at it religiously to improve that one thing, and then he moves on to something else. So it's the repetition, it's the stick-to-itness that he has that these kids can watch and say, he's working on that one skill over and over and over again to perfect it. And that's why he's the player he is, and that's why our guys can go in there and watch him put his work in and see what it takes to be truly great.
What was he like to coach here? Do you remember?
Yeah, he was, coaches want to coach guys that work hard. You know, if you go out there and you work every day, coaches are going to love you. And he's a guy that went out there every day in practice and put his work in. And whatever what was required, if it was a defensive drill, if it was rebounding, if it was offensive, he put his all into every drill. And so as a coach, that's what you want to see, a guy that works hard every day in practice. And that's what Kawhi did. He went to work every day, put his hard hat on, and went to work.
Coach, Kawhi, at least during games, doesn't tend to show a lot of emotion. But do you think, like, once he's here and he sees the crowd and he sees the jersey being lifted, we might see something more from him?
No, not really. I think you'll see the emotion that you see in the NBA Finals when he wins a title, or, you know, when he played here in Viejas. That's who he is, and that's what I love about him. You know, he's not putting on a show for anybody. He's true to his personality, and that's what his personality is. And a lot of guys, success changes them, changes their personality and their work ethic and how they interact with people. And I would say Kawhi's the same person he was when he was on this campus. And you have to be friends with him. You have to be in that inner circle of a locker room to see his sense of humor, that he's funny, that he enjoys having a good time. But that's for close friends. And his circle is small. It's family and friends, and he's not trying to entertain the entire world, other than on the basketball floor, which he does every night.
How long will it take you to realize that that is his personality? You got a guy who's kind of quiet, kind of reserved. Was there a point where you kind of thinking, we got to get this guy out of his shell, and you realize that that's just Kawhi?
That's like any player we coach. You know, we try to find out how to maximize their ability within their own personality. And so we're not about changing people. We're trying to say some kids respond well if you coach them hard. Some kids go in the tank if you coach them hard. And we just try to figure out what the personality of each player is and try to get the most out of them. So Kawhi was quiet on the floor. He just always went to work. And, you know, the only thing he might say to me occasionally is, Coach, they're fouling me. I said, well, they're not going to call that, Kawhi, so it's not a foul. So that might be it. But he's true to who he is, and that's what makes him so special.
Do you know any details yet? Is he going to be able to address the team or at least meet them or anything like that?
I haven't looked into any of that. You know, our task, my task, is to keep it from being a distraction because we're here to win basketball games. So if it happens naturally and the timing's good and he gets here and can just greet the team You know, I know one thing, it's not going to be a long-winded speech if he talks to him, you know, but he's got a game that afternoon, so his timeline is going to be probably fairly tight to get up here in time for the game and get situated with all his family and friends for the day. And my task is to get the team ready to play and today to start talking about what distraction means and how it can take away from performance and how we can't be distracted. And I have a team that when I give them that message will be focused and spot on and understand that. And their time to spend with Kawhi is probably not going to be game day Saturday against Utah State.
Speaking of Utah State, are they still as dangerous as everyone thought they were going to be at the beginning of the season, despite they've had a little bit of an up and
Yeah.
down year?
I think Utah State's an NCAA quality tournament team. I believe that in my heart. And they played a stretch where they stumbled on the road, which can happen. You know, they stumbled on the road and lost to Air Force, and then they played us at their place, which is a task, and we snuck out of there with a win, and then they went to Air Force, who was playing well, and stumbled again. And so you have a 3-game losing streak, and that's college basketball. But I look at their whole body of work. I look at them beating LSU, who I think is leading the SEC. They beat Florida in the non-conference, you know, and they've played good basketball. So they're going to look for an opportunity to say we can get another quad 1 win against San Diego State at their gym, and that will speak to the committee. So they're coming in here believing that they're an NCAA tournament team, and the best way to show everyone that is to beat San Diego State on their home floor, and that's what they'll come to do, and we know there'll be a challenge. It will be a very competitive game.
Coach, this run you're on, do you guys take the time to enjoy it, reflect, or is it still a work in progress and you'll do that later?
I think the kids are enjoying the ride, you know, and I'm enjoying it as much as I can enjoy it. You know, I'm a go-to-work everyday guy, and I enjoy the victories when they're over, but it's more like we prepared for this. We did all the right things leading into it, and so the outcome was what we'd hoped it would be. And now on the flight back, I'm getting ready for Utah State. So there's not a lot of time when you play 3 games in 7 days to sit there and enjoy every moment. I try to find time, small amounts of time in there to embrace what's happening. But I'm not naive enough to think that we're not a game away from disaster either. So I'm trying to keep the team focused. I'm trying to keep myself focused and do everything I can do to help prepare the team to win games.
And Coach, this is the first home game since you guys broke the record for your best start. Obviously, Kawhi's going to be there. I think it was 5 sellouts in a row before this. You talked about this last game on the road. The fans were really loud. What kind of reception do you think that you'll get from the fans this weekend?
I think it'll be one of the best environments we've ever had here. With an undefeated team playing the unanimous pick to win the Mountain West Conference, and Kawhi Leonard jersey hanging up in the rafters, I think it's going to be electric in the building. So we have to come out and just do what we've always done, defend at a high level and share the ball and get our home crowd behind us because they appreciate that kind of effort, and try to ride that wave of momentum on our home floor to get a home victory.
Coach, it's really easy to compare these two teams, this one to 2011. But if you put that starting 5 from that team against the starting 5 of this team, well, how do you think that matchup goes down on a neutral floor?
First one to get to 50. You know, both teams are really good defensively, so it's hard. It'll be hard to score points in that game. So if this year's team is making the 3, they'd have a chance. And but they'd have to rebound because that team with Kawhi and Malcolm and Billy would be dominant inside on the glass and brutally physical. So I'd have to handpick the refs to determine the outcome. Who would call it tight and who would call it loose? So that might have more to do with it than the talent of the teams.